good morning, viewers, and welcome to today's edition of Now Streaming, reaching you live from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, here in the nation's capital, where we talk the truth, address the issues, and motivate you to step into your day with confidence. Every day we wake up to headlines that test our patience, fuel matters, power issues, policy changes, and of course, the resilience of Nigerians shining through it all. If there is one thing consistent in this country, it's the fact that we don't give up, and that's the same spirit I want you to carry into today. No matter the storm, keep your head up because your consistency is what turns struggle into success. Now, speaking of storm, there's a different kind of one blowing around us right now, and it's not in the street, it's online. From fake investment schemes to hacked social media accounts, from bank frauds to email scams, the digital world has become the new battlefield. That's why our focus this morning is on cybersecurity in everyday life, protecting yourself and your businesses. We'll be unpacking how you can shield yourself from cyber thefts, protect your hustle, and make sure you don't fall victim to tricks that are becoming more sophisticated by the day. Trust me, you don't need to be an IT guru to stay safe. Just awareness and some basic habits can help you from a whole lot of headaches. I am Somtochukul Okizu, your uncle, and with me is Rachel Egbunu. Beautiful Rachel Egbunu, good morning.
You have to put that. Good morning, Samtro. Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Now Streaming
And
program.
it's nice to be with you. I love your outfit.
Thank you.
It's lovely.
I'll look over at yourself.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Rachel. And also joining us in the studio is Mr. Israel Igabari.
Thank you.
Yeah, who is the Chief Operating Officer, Lumen Alpha Digital Consulting Limited.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you in the studio this morning.
You're welcome to the program.
Nice to be here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Israel. All right, viewers, you can be a part of our conversation by sending in your comments via our social media platform that are showing on your screen, or call the numbers also being displayed on your screen. Welcome back, viewers. Before the break, we thought you were talking about something that touches everybody. Whether you're a student, a business owner, a civil servant, or just a regular phone user, cybersecurity is everyday life. Now, let me break it down small. In Nigeria today, cybercrime is not a theory, it is a reality. You have probably seen or even received those fake SMS messages to be from your bank. Dear customer, your account has been restricted, click this to reactivate, all of that. That's a scam. Once you click, they can steal your details and so many other examples. Cybersecurity is not for tech bros or tech gurus alone. It's for everyone, because if you use WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or even just an ATM card, you're already in the cyber world. And in that world, awareness is your first defense. I am still Somtochukul Okizi, your uncle, and with me in the studio is still Rachel Egbunu, my co-uncle for today. Now, to help us delve deeper into the topic, cybersecurity in everyday life, protecting yourself and your business, I have with me a very special guest who will be shedding more light on how you and your businesses can stay protected in this digital jungle. He is Mr. Israel Igabari, the Chief Operating Officer, Lumen Alpha Digital Consulting Limited. Please stay with us. You would not want to miss this conversation. You can be a part of it. Send in your comments, asking your questions, calling, and we would be here to answer you and point you into the right direction. Thank you so much, Mr. Israel, for being with us, and thank you, Rachel, for
same here. Thank you.
All right, so over to you.
Rachel. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. The beginning. So many people I wouldn't say so many people, maybe a few, or but at least we have some still in this digital age who doesn't know what cybersecurity is. Let's say, okay, to the layman on the street there, what is cybersecurity before we go on?
Okay, thank you. I am glad that you guys have taken this opportunity to actually relate cybersecurity to the ordinary man, because the misconception out there is, cybersecurity is for the big companies, the tech bros, the gurus, and all of that. But it's now an everyday concern. So cybersecurity is just simply the process, the procedures and technologies by which we, ensure a safe use of the internet space. It's like, the way we lock our physical doors. Cybersecurity is just about like locking your digital doors and ensuring that, only those who you permit have access into your data. Data is the new gold. In fact, data is more valuable than gold, and there are a lot of people out there who are hunting for your data. However, what you cannot guarantee is the use they'll put that particular data to. So you have to be secure on the internet space. You have to have an attitude of security to ensure that your data is used in a way that you actually have control of. Thank you.
Okay, and okay, I'm still going down to this very layman on the street who doesn't care whatever it is. I don't care, whatever is happening in the world today. My phone is my phone. Nobody has access to it. How can you convince the same person that yes, you need this thing to protect yourself?
Okay, I will just make a simple analogy. I don't think there's anyone who is over the age of 18, 20 who's not received a call that I'm calling from your bank. Please call your ATM. Please call your ATM card. And some people have actually fallen for such tricks and divulged their card details, and at the end of the day, it led to loss. Even worse, some of them even had issues with law enforcement agents because their accounts were used as modes to convey illicit funds. So it is a matter of not just your own avoidance of loss. It's also a matter of your own being on the safe side of the law, because sure, you may be able to prove that you gave out your card details and all of that, but it's going to take a while, and we all know how Nigeria works. So cybersecurity, digital security is something that should be on the front burner of not only just the industries, but also the front burner of our national discourse as a nation. It should be a major topic for everyone, no matter class, race, social status, financial capacity, or whatever. You are a target, and you have to start protecting yourself.
Alright, thank you so much. And with every explanation you've given to us now, it means that everyone is at risk of a cyber attack. So, and since we are now relating it to our daily activities, how do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our businesses from cyber attack? Or possibly, how can we minimize possible attacks?
Oh, okay.
Because it's something that we can't afford, avoid, but yeah.
Okay, protecting ourselves as individuals and as businesses has to do with primarily what I'll call digital hygiene. These are habits, these are practices that enable us to remain safe online. This could include, not clicking on unsolicited links, being able to guard kind of websites you go to, updating your apps on your phones. Don't use third-party cracked apps and all of that, because most times these apps may provide the services that you want, but there's usually a payload of malware embedded within those apps that harvest your data. I was part of a survey that was conducted by an international organization recently, and we found out that a lot of Nigerian devices are actually part of a botnet. A botnet is like a group of devices that is used to launch attacks against IT infrastructure. So what prompted this survey was we were trying to take a study on how what is actually consuming our mobile data. So we found out that it may not necessarily be how much we use, but that our phones are embedded with apps that we do not know are actually part of botnets, and they are used to launch DOS attacks and DDoS attacks. So that's part of what is consuming our data. So it's something that all of us have to be um, wary of. We have to carry out digital hygiene, stay safe online, stop using public Wi-Fi. We like free.
Freebies.
Yes, and with the proper technology, anyone on the same Wi-Fi network with you, could harvest your details. You could install a keylogger on your computer and be able to get your bank login details, your email login details. That could lead to a lot of, identity theft, scams, and what have you. So it's just wise that we just adhere to these practices of digital hygiene, and that would ensure our safety online.
Okay, you mentioned something about using cracked apps, probably, for example, cracked Netflix to avoid paying for Netflix. We also have things like cracked Adobe, Act Premiere Pro, things like that. And the truth is, most of us are victims of this, considering the fact that we don't have the required resources to continue the subscription of these paid this thing. So are you
So we
simply
want to follow the back.
yes, so yes,
back
the back door.
door.
So are you simply saying that such practices are harmful to us on our daily activities? And also, you also made mention of using public Wi-Fi. So for example, an organization or an office has a Wi-Fi, and probably it's not passworded to avoid people from coming in. So are you also saying that people that are probably into tech can actually hack into the Wi-Fi and then steal out data from the company just because they left their data of them?
Yes, I would first I'll address this last question. Any company that has a Wi-Fi that is not passworded is, can you have a bank that doesn't have a vault? You're just leaving your data out there for anyone.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Recently, as at yesterday, we've got that Ocean State. I think that's where Governor Adeleke
Yes,
is, right?
Ocean
Yeah.
State.
He launched an Emole Wi-Fi, a free Wi-Fi to the people of a particular location. There's some in the libraries and a whole lot of things. So such acts, which is probably to reduce the rate at which the people buy data, and probably those that work online to help aid in their activities. So are you saying that is also a threat? Because I know that in civilized nations like the United Kingdom, or they are open Wi-Fi. So can you please
Yes.
explain?
So using public Wi-Fi exposes you to a lot of risks because you do not know the other people who are on the same network with you. And like I've said earlier, with the right set of tools, you'll be able to harvest the next person's data. So the best practice when you're using a public Wi-Fi is to avoid sensitive transactions. So maybe you can use it for your Google, maybe search and all of that. But sensitive transactions, maybe like your bank apps, transfer and all of that, avoid that. Avoid that. We've had issues with companies, even on a global scale, where business email compromise, where a hacker was able to get the logon credentials of a management staff, and he initiated a transfer to the finance department, and they thought the request originated from their boss, but it was in the hands of a hacker. So they initiated the transfer, consummated it, and before they could recover the funds, the money had already gone. So these are some of the dangers of logging on public Wi-Fi. So we're not saying I wouldn't really say avoid public Wi-Fi. As much as you can, you should. However, if it is compulsory that you have to make use of it, maybe at the airport or something, try not to carry out sensitive transactions on it. Make sure that your activities on the public Wi-Fi is limited. That way you will be safer.
Okay, now with all you've said, is it safe to say if all our data are passworded, they are safe and nothing can happen. You can't be hacked or something. Is that what you're saying? Because all we've been saying, okay, it should be passworded at least to some reasonable extent. You are safe and you are at minimal risks. Are we safe on that issue?
That's a very interesting question. Well, I would say the fact that your data is passworded doesn't make you completely safe. Sure, it adds some layer of security. However, the nature of your password too also determines, how secure what you're trying to guard is.
Okay.
For example, when you use passwords that are easily guessable, maybe just numbers, just letters, it's easily guessable. In fact, there are algorithms, there are forms of attack that are called brute force attacks. What brute force attack is there's an algorithm or a script that tries to guess your password. So the more simple it is to guess, this is a computer program guessing your password now. It will be there are some passwords that a brute force script can guess under 2 seconds. There are some passwords that a brute force script cannot guess under 1 billion years. So that's why we advise that people use strong passwords. And even at organizations too, the organizations we consult for, one of the first things we put in place is we try to enforce strong password policy. Your password should be a mix of numbers, letters, special characters, upper and lower case. You understand? That way, you are making sure that you have a bulletproof password that will be averse to brute force attacks.
All right, viewers, please remember you can be a part of our conversation. Send in your comments, calling the numbers being displayed on your screen, ask your questions, and we'll be nice to point you into the right directions. So, talking about data and all of that, are there laws or regulations to protect data? Is there really anything the government, I'm sure we have the National Security Agency and all of these, is there really anything they can do to regulate or protect one's data?
Yes, and on this part, I must say kudos to the government, because the government has been taking data security very serious, especially of recent. We have the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation that was given by NITDA some few years ago. We also have NDP, Nigerian Data Protection Act, that was passed into law and is enforceable. We also have standards issued by CBN for institutions in the financial sector. We also have for NCC and other organizations too that issue frameworks to guard about how data of their clients and Nigerians are being used. Then on a global scale, we have standards like the ISO, we have standards issued by IEEE, also have the HIPAA standards. So all of these are put in place to guard the safe use of data. Like I said earlier, data is gold. In fact, it may not even be your data that may be needed. There's what we call OSINT, that is open source intelligence.
Sorry, we have a caller.
All right.
The studio.
Good morning.
Good morning. The anchor, the co-anchor, get studio. I started from you were reviewing newspaper headlines, and I know that it's no longer a surprise to so many of us as to why a man like President Tinubu is on the street. Actually, he built Lagos before. But if we were told that that was how he built Lagos, even some of his family members wouldn't have voted him or fought for him to snatch the ballot box and rig election. But what can we do? We should allow him to finish Nigeria in this April. That is why we are missing Buhari and all of those. We are not surprised. He must start Nigeria. He must start Nigeria. If he did not start Nigeria, he will not sleep at night. However, 2027 is coming, and he must meet up with target. So we should not totally run around him. You have to hate him very well or support him, but 8 years we must complete it. There are several channels, several plans on ground for him to achieve that. Talking about the cyber security system is a welcome development that no one should ignore. Even the unborn children, we should find a way of letting them know before they come that this is a very important aspect of our life. We are becoming, the world is becoming technologically evolved, and it is just getting me worried how Nigeria as a nation is embracing it. We are not doing well as to meet up with what the world is giving out in technology and in cyber security. And that is why we lose hope. You will see a fintech as strong as OPay, MoneyPoint. There are several people that are still afraid to even open an account to them. And that is why even those who have opened an account to them cannot live as much as I know someone that at every end of the business day, he will just go there and transfer every money he has on in his MoneyPoint or OP, because they are afraid of what might happen while they are asleep. But I will not blame them. I will tell you this: though the fintech system or the cyber security system of Nigeria, they will not accept it. Several cyber gurus and tech you employ in your firm, when they become tired of your office, they will go out and develop more and begin to attack you. It is a norm. All these things you keep hearing from the bank, these are former staff that are leaking. They are leaking the details of customers. They are making sure the business they get what they want. But what are we going to do when there is no employment? You will employ somebody and keep him for an office for as long as 10 years. You keep offering the person #1, whereas the person knows 1,001 way of removing everything you have in your firm. May God help Nigeria. We will not get there now until we all wake up, rise up, just like Nepal did. Nepal rose up and they protested with one voice. Just one day protest. They have unbanned. That is a nation that is working. But Nigeria, let's keep watching and see Tinubu and their APC upturn Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Easy, for
so
that.
much,
Thank you. I think you have a comment on what Easy said.
Yes, that was very, very insightful. I love the way you put it. You know, Africa is gradually toeing the path to total and holistic digital transformation. However, as we begin that journey, it is important that the foundation be set right. And anything you build on a foundation that is not secure is vulnerable, and it's just waiting for anyone with the right skill set to go in and go out. So what you guys are doing in putting this conversation on the front burner in our national discourse is actually laudable, and it's going to bring to our national consciousness as a nation that this is actually a matter of life and death. And I did not just say that carelessly. We've had, I was working with a consultant, and he was sharing with me his experience with a hospital outside the country, where a hacker was paid to change the medication of someone in the hospital. You know, so I think what they do there, the practice is that the medication is on your profile on the system. So when your shift ends, you log it in, hand over, the next person goes in, views the medication, and continues. So the hacker was able to get access and change the medication just because they needed that man to die. So he changed the medication. The nurse on the shift came, saw the wrong medication, administered it, and the person died. This is a real life story. So it is a matter of life and death. It's not just one lofty term there that seems so far away. It has now come to our everyday. Your finances depend on it. Your health depends on it. Everything, your business growth, everything depends on it. So it's something that we as Nigerians, as a nation, as individuals, as business owners, companies, and all of that need to begin to take seriously.
Yeah, I know when our caller was talking about the likes of OP and Money Point and the rest, I know it took me time before I opened one of them. Even at that, I don't leave substantial amount of money
I
in
really
that.
want to
You
ask.
know, yeah.
I really want to ask, as a cybersecurity analyst, do you really think OP or these fintech companies are not as protected as our daily commercial banks?
You know our problem. The question here is they don't have a physical structure.
No,
like we see this.
Let's leave this physical structure. It's not the physical structure that protects
Yeah.
the other commercial banks. We know that. But do you really think they are not as sophisticated or protected as this other commercial? Because I understand the fears of these people, but also what do you think?
Well, what I would say for our fintechs, especially the leading ones, is kudos to them. They have actually been some of the pioneers in implementing cybersecurity in Nigeria. So their platforms are safe. I think the issue we have is, like she said, the absence of physical offices. And it's also good to know that I think on some of these microfinance, all these fintechs, they have microfinance bank licenses.
Yes.
So your deposits are insured up to a certain amount. I'm not
Okay.
sure now, maybe up to about 2 million naira. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but your deposits are insured to a certain amount. So it's left for us as clients and customers of this fintech to update ourselves. But I would say, while no system is 100% secure, our fintechs have made a lot of progress. Generally, the banking system also has made a lot of progress. In fact, there was a bank who, in the first quarter of this year only, spent about 15 billion naira on securing their digital assets. In the first quarter,
Wow.
they spent about 15 billion. I don't want to call names, but they spent about 15 billion naira to protect. So they are taking it seriously, because the damage, let me tell you something. Because you're not hearing it on the news, or it's not coming out in the public space, doesn't mean it's not happening. It is happening, but they can't come out to say it, because a lot of our dealings with them is based on trust.
Yeah.
And if it comes out, they rather take it in and absorb the pain and the cost, because the damage will be
Cost. Yeah.
reputational damage. It might close. The
Yeah.
bank might close that same day.
Yeah.
You hear that bank AA, they attack them and they lost so and so. Are you gonna leave the next morning before 10 o'clock? That
Everybody's
bank will be full.
transferring, yeah.
You understand? So it's not like it's not happening, but there's an increased awareness. But now we need to cascade it down to even the masses.
I know we talked about the laws and regulations to protect our data. These hackers, they are not ghosts. And if I may say, I've not really heard of any arrest of such individual. And are they? Is there any? I don't know.
Are they deceptionists or they are hackers?
I can't really say.
Yes.
And is there any punishment accrued to such individuals?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me give a distinction between a Yahoo boy and a hacker.
Okay.
So I think Yahoo guys, they engage in social engineering. They take advantage of emotional, psychological gaps in someone and exploit that to their own benefit. So that's why they target particular set of women, you see old women and all of that, and who are lonely, so they take advantage of them. But hackers are people who are trained, in the methodology of, first of all, remaining anonymous online. Secondly, being able to access, restricted information with relative ease, and being able to, cover up their footprints. So a hacker will be in and out of there without you even knowing. In fact, let me explain. As we talk now, there are hackers who are looking for what is called a 0-day. Now, a 0-day
attack.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah.
A 0-day is a vulnerability that a hacker discovers before the company discovers it.
Yeah.
So let's say I have a product, AB product, and there's a vulnerability. My IT team has not discovered it. The day my IT team discovered it, that's day one.
Okay.
So before day one, if you discover it, that's the 0 day. So people are looking for vulnerability that the IT team has not taken measures to mitigate, so they can exploit it. And you don't need so long to do that. Sometimes even the littlest, opportunity, they will take advantage of it. And sometimes this malware, these hackers stay within your systems for months. There was a central bank in a country in Asia that lost about $800 million. The virus stayed in their system for 2 years. It got in through a printer on the network. So for 2 years, it was there, collecting details, installing keyloggers, harvesting logon credentials, studying their patterns of instruction and all of that. And when they did it, it was disastrous. So these are very, very pressing issues, very, very critical, even to our national security and our security as individuals.
Okay, just to a recall of what our caller also said, he pointed out our attention to children. So, and we know that everyone is prone to this attack, and I'm sure children also. So, what simple steps can family take to protect their children online?
Okay, so we can use make use of search engines for kids. Also, there's YouTube for kids. There are platforms that are built and tailored specifically to the needs of kids. However, as a parent, you are responsible for your children, so you also have to ensure that there is supervision, and also you have to ensure that your kids are appropriately oriented. You see, one thing I've discovered while serving at Lumen Alpha, I discovered that training is actually goes a long way to mitigate some of these things. You see, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. For example, if I have a chain, and there's a part of it the chain is made of iron, and there's a part of it that's made of rubber, that's not a strong chain. So you guys, all of you may just have the knowledge and be strong, but there's one person there who's not appropriately oriented, and that person can meet the gateway into the company. So you have to keep retraining, training your staff, and enlightening them on up-to-date security measures. Just by this simple measure, you are going to mitigate over 50% of attacks. For example, simple attacks like phishing.
Okay.
Educating your staff not to click on unsolicited emails, educating your staff not to click on links that they cannot verify the source and all of that, educating your staff to hover on hidden links to have a preview of the link, to know where the link is coming from before clicking. These things would save you guys a lot of cost. So that's one way we can go about it.
Because of our time, my last question for you: are our phones protected by the manufacturers? For example, we have the likes of Techno, Infinix, Samsung, and so are they also protected? And also, can you just share light to our viewers on the importance of 2FA and
Okay.
how does it work?
Okay. So let me start with the last question. We'll go back to the first one. So what is 2FA? So 2FA simply means multi-factor authentication. So it is the principle in cybersecurity is you and what you have. For example, 2FA means you, that means your password. What you have could be like an OTP, a one-time password on your phone, on your email, or a device, like a token. That's a hard token. Banks issue that. So 2FA is a security measure put in place that, okay, let's say the hacker has been able to harvest your password or your login credentials and all of that. You should also have access to your phone to access the email. You should also have access to your token. You understand? So in cybersecurity, there are various layers of security that have to be put in place. So one of them is the physical layer, in that there's supposed to be a restriction around your personal devices. You're supposed to have restrictive access on who can lay hold of your devices and all of that. So that's where the aspect of 2FA, multi-factor authentication, comes into play. So it mitigates. There are ways actually criminals can bypass it. However, it is much safer to have 2FA than not to have 2FA. And in fact, we should all implement 2FA. For example, on your email, when you're logging in on a different device that you're not used to, 2FA should come in. When you're logging in on maybe your Facebook account, 2FA should come in, because the spectrum of things that can be done with your data you do not want to know. Identity theft, I'm sure I've mentioned that earlier. You can be part of a botnet. You can, social engineering and all of that. Your data can be compromised. Even you can be used to target someone else through open source intelligence, but we'll go into that later. So it is then the first question was
your gadgets, yeah.
Okay, yes. One way to also be secure is actually to ensure that your software on your phones is up to date. So that's what's called patch management. Patch management is just basically, in layman's form, to have your software in the latest update available. There's a very big app that's on your phone and on this phone. I don't need to tell you the app, but about 2 weeks ago they released a published, should I say, circular now, that there was a vulnerability on the app. I'll tell you after because I'm sure you must not have heard. There's a vulnerability on the app, and users should update to the yes. So if you have not heard, and you probably heard and you did not update it, hackers can now take advantage of that and begin to get your data. You understand? So as simple as updating your data, your softwares and apps, avoiding the use of third-party apps, because like you were telling me about cracked apps, these cracked apps are not done by the manufacturer. So what's the benefit of the person doing the cracked app? Have you thought about that? What does it stand to gain? What do I stand to gain from doing GB WhatsApp? What do I stand to gain from doing cracked Adobe? You guys get them from all these third-party sites and all of that. And even by visiting that site, if you notice, those sites have a lot of pop-ups. Oh, let's know. I don't want to.
All right. So your last word, and if there is any other thing you want our viewers to know on the topic we discussed.
Okay. So I would say the concept of cybersecurity is not so lofty that you have to be deeply trained to understand it. It's just like in our everyday life. Take time to lock our doors, check the windows before we sleep. It's also the same thing too. It's just that you're doing it digitally. So what I would say to you is ensure proper digital hygiene. Don't click on unwanted links. If it comes with some form of urgency, you have won this, you have been scheduled for this big training, please send your account number for this, click this to register for this gift and all of that, please. It is most likely a scam. Then before you click on that link, please hover on the link to see if it is something you were expecting before. Then secondly, please be mindful of the kind of websites you visit. Be mindful of the kind of things you download into your phone. We have malwares, trojans, and all of that could actually harvest your data and be taking them into a remote repository for later use. So just adhering to these principles that I've enumerated would keep you safe. Thank you so much. So final word is always think before you click.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rachel, your last
thank you. I guess I said it all. To be forewarned, it's to be forearmed. So rather not to fall a victim of this. So do the necessary things, safeguard your data, and yes.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers, for being a part of our show. Thank you so much, Mr. Israel.
Thank you for
enlightenment.
Your analysis.
And thank you so much, Rachel, for co-anchoring the show.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure doing this with you.
Yeah, thank you. And in short, think of cybersecurity like locking your doors at night. You don't do it because you're scared. You do it because you're wise. Have a great day, and bye for now.